Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of the Exodus. In our last several sessions, we have been looking at the tabernacle. You find the instructions for the tabernacle in chapters 25 through 31 of the book of Exodus. Moses received them when he was on the mountain for 40 days with God. Now, in the midst of the instructions about the tabernacle, we also find instructions about the priest. Aaron and his sons were to be consecrated as priests before the Lord. They were to serve in the tabernacle. Great care was given in how they were to be consecrated, how they were to be ordained, and also into the garments they would wear to do their priestly ministry. We find that in Exodus chapter 28. Let me read the first few verses. Have Aaron, your brother, brought to you from among the Israelites along with his sons, that they may serve me as priest. Make sacred garments for your brother Aaron to give him dignity and honor. These are the garments you are to make: a breastpiece, an ephod, a robe, a woven tunic, a turban, and a sash. Make these sacred garments for Aaron and his sons, that they may serve me as priest. Now we see throughout this chapter, great detail is given to the priestly garments. It's very ornate, very elaborate. It signifies that the priests are set apart for ministry before the Lord. You see, a priest is a bridge between the people and God. The priest represents the people to God, carrying their prayers to the Lord, offering their sacrifices on their behalf. The priest also represents the Lord to the people, giving words of assurance and comfort and forgiveness that come with proper worship. Aaron and his sons are to perform that ministry. Now, these garments are very interesting. First, there's a linen tunic they are to wear, and over that, a robe. Now, the robe is very important, very ornate. They wear it only when they're performing priestly duties. Now, the robe is interesting because around the hem of the robe, bells are interwoven into the hem, so that when Aaron is moving, the bells will sound. We're told in verse 35, Aaron must wear the robe when he ministers. The sound of the bells will be heard when he enters the holy place before the Lord, and when he comes out, so that he will not die. So we're told that the bells are there that the people might hear Aaron when he's ministering in the holy place, and especially on the Day of Atonement, when he enters the most holy place, they can hear the bells, and they know he's still alive. You see, he'll be in there by himself. Only the high priest can enter the most holy place, and that only on the Day of Atonement. So by the sound of the bells, the people will know he has not died in the presence of the Lord. The bells will tell them he is still alive. Now, in addition to the robe, there is the headpiece, the turban. Now, it's interesting, in verse 36, it says, for the turban, make a plate of pure gold and engrave on it a seal that says, Holy to the Lord. So this seal of holiness is upon the headpiece, the turban that Aaron wears. Reminds the people that God is holy. And only through the ministry of the temple or the tabernacle and the sacrifices made can sin be atoned for, that they might approach a holy God. Now, over the robe is the ephod. Now, the ephod is sort of like an apron, I suppose, that the shoulder pieces fasten it to the body of Aaron. It goes down to his waist, and there's a bind around the waist. And it's like as I said, like an apron, but the ephod was used in making decisions before the Lord. Verse 15 says, fashion a breastpiece for making decisions, the work of a skilled craftsman. Make it like the ephod. So the ephod, along with the breastpiece that is upon it, was to help people make decisions before the Lord. Now, the breastpiece was a piece of cloth that was attached to the front of the ephod, or that apron. It was about 9 inches square. And on the breastpiece attached to the ephod were 4 rows of 12 stones, precious stones. And each of the stones bore the name of one of the tribes of Israel. So that when Aaron went before the Lord, the breastpiece that covered his heart would be carrying the names of the tribes of Israel. They were on his heart as he ministered before the Lord. Also, the ephod was attached to his shoulders by 2 more stones. Each stone had 6 of the tribes of Israel inscribed upon it as a memorial before the Lord. So every time Aaron would approach the Lord to minister, he carried on his heart and on his shoulders, through the ephod and the breastpiece, the names of the children of Israel. He represented them in prayer before the Lord. Now it says the ephod and the breastpiece were used for making decisions. The breastpiece was fashioned so that it had a pouch in it, and in the pouch were contained the Urim and the Thummim. They were used for making decisions. Now we're not quite sure what they were. The best speculation is that they were 2 stones. They were placed inside that pouch of the breastpiece, and they would be used to make decisions. We don't know exactly how that would be, but it seems they were marked in some way, and they would be cast before the Lord. And so when you need to make a decision, you would ask the Lord for a yes or a no, and you would cast the Urim and the Thummim, which would give indication of what the Lord's will was. This was always carried in the ephod, in the breastpiece, on the heart, as it were, of Aaron. God's way of making his will known to the people. So in these elaborate garments, the tunic, the robe with the bells around, the turban that said holy to the Lord, and most especially the ephod and the breastpiece, Aaron, as priest, would minister on behalf of the people before the Lord, and the Lord would make his will known to the people through Aaron. It's very significant moments as these Aaron and his sons are ordained as priests before the Lord. Now in the New Testament, we discover an interesting doctrine called the priesthood of all believers. That in Jesus we all become priests before the Lord. And thus we all have the right to minister in the holy place before the Lord, to go directly to him in prayer, and to minister on behalf of others. So in a very real sense, we all become priests. The priesthood of all believers is taught in the New Testament that all of us can minister before the Lord in prayer and in worship. And so we should. Well, hope you have a great day today, and I look forward to seeing you next time for our 5-minute Bible study in the book of the Exodus.